Hi everyone and welcome. My name is Casey Willis and I'm on our product marketing team, and I'm accompanied here today by my lovely colleague Ulali Chap. She's our director of product management and we both support Travel AI. So you're probably here today because you saw AI in the session title. And yes, we are going to talk about AI today. But what we're not going to talk about is the hype, the buzz, the fluff that often accompanies those AI conversations we're hearing today. Today we're going to cut through that noise and we're going to talk about instead how Concur leverages research data, customer insights, so talking to all of you and using that intel to help determine where AI can provide the most value to your travel and expense solution. Because if AI isn't adding value, tangible value, then it just remains in that fluffy stage. So for the next 30 minutes, Ulali and I are going to run through or share with you research, our value statement around product development, and then we'll get into the fun stuff, the product innovation, sorry. And now, just a bit of housekeeping. I know when I see a slide with lots of words, especially a legal disclaimer, I tend to glaze over. But I promise this is exciting. What it means is that we're about to give you a sneak peek at where the product is headed. So there's concepts, strategies that we're looking to deliver by end of year. It's really just that future visionary look at what's coming. So pretty exciting. All right, so like I mentioned earlier, research, customer insights, they're at the core of our products. So I'd like to share a little bit of the research in the last year that's helped to shape our path forward with product development. First, AI is a top priority for leaders. This is probably not news to many of you, and we have data to support that. What we're seeing is that AI spending last year rose by 5.7%, and this is despite IT budgets of an increase of less than 2%. So again, AI is a top priority for our CFOs, CEOs, CTOs, but it's not the end goal. What companies are looking for AI to do is these following three business outcomes. So it's one, to accelerate automation, so to drive those efficiencies, give you back time to your day. Cost control, equally important, a top priority for companies, and therefore a top priority for travel programs. And then finally, mitigating risk, very important as well. So in 2025, another big trend that we were seeing is that travel programs have been slow to adopt AI. This is totally understandable with change management, AI being relatively new, totally get that. But when we asked you all what you thought, your thoughts were, you told us you were ready for AI, ready for it. So, when we were looking at our data, specifically our Global Business Travel Survey, this is a year-over-year body of research that we do every year, where we surveyed 700 travel managers, 700 CFOs, and almost 4,000 business travelers. We were seeing this clear shift, especially on the travel manager side. While only about a third of buyers expected to apply AI in significant ways to their travel and expense program, we saw the willingness to use AI, especially to automate those repetitive tasks, those mundane tasks, increased by 20% between 2024 and 2025. So this for us was a really encouraging trend. It showed us that you were comfortable with AI and eager to see the value add of using it. So when we look at where AI can provide the most value, specifically in that traveler journey, you told us that those biggest opportunities are after that initial booking. So top area being those pre-trip changes, followed up with those on-trip changes, which is becoming very important, especially with delays. I know just in coming to Fusion that I had some delays, so just being able to get that help during the trip was super important. So now let's move over to a couple other trends that we were seeing. So personalization and group travel are key. These have been prominent trends since COVID, so they're not new. Also continued after post-COVID. So you're probably wondering, are they still prominent trends? And the answer is yes. In fact, personalization is critical. An industry report from McKinsey & Company told us that 71% of consumers expect personalized interactions, and an even larger number, they get frustrated without that personalized experience. So again, as part of that global business travel survey I talked about earlier, where we surveyed almost 4,000 business travelers, a large number, 2/3 of them, that's a large number, said that they want tailored travel recommendations when booking their business trip. Sorry, forgot to share those stats, so sorry about that. So now on to group travel and the stats to support the importance of group travel. So global MICE, meetings, incentives, conferences, exhibitions, that's a mouthful. They are estimating a growth of 9.2% CAGR by 2030. So additionally, behind what's propelling group travel, think about the way we work these days. Remote work, hybrid work, yes, there's been return to office. However, we're still seeing that hybrid work is very prevalent, which is then, there's a lot of off-site meetings because of that. Another trend that we're seeing is that, travelers value AI, but they don't yet feel comfortable using it. So 95%, almost all of business travelers, 95% believe that AI enhances their travel experience. Yet they need that assurance that their concerns are addressed, specifically in these 4 key areas. So number 1 being personal data protection. It's important to them. As we spoke on earlier, it's important to your leaders. And then it's certainly important to SAP, being a European company. GDPR is probably top of our list for anything we do. And then number 2 is training. It's essential for any new rollout. It's critical for users to feel confident and understand how they use new tools. So we aim, to collaborate with you on the training side. And then also our AI tools are pretty intuitive. And then number 3, employees desire tools free from bias. And this is a valid concern because we know that AI tools, they can amplify bias from that historical data. However, we have a lot of checks in place. We have an ethics committee with AI. So there's a lot there, to ensure that we undergo those rigorous fairness audits. And then finally, 4 is choice. This is super important for travelers. We've been seeing this in our last few years of our global business travel survey. They want that flexibility, the choice. They don't want to feel obligated to use AI to complete a task. So luckily with Concur, we have several options or workflows that can accommodate their preferences. And so similarly to how we ask travel managers, we also ask travelers where they'd most like to use AI in their travel to expense journey. And they, like travel managers, identified pre-trip changes as valuable, followed by initial booking. So this rounds out our 4 major trends from last year. As we continue the presentation, especially onto product, please keep in mind the research, the values, because you'll see how it's connected to our product development. Now, on to our growth blueprint or our vision, and this is where we want to be and how we're going to get there. So let's talk at a high level. And the high level being that our SAP Concur North Star vision. So this is a concept that many of you are probably already familiar with. It's a world where travel and expenses manage themselves. So we still are on that journey, but AI is going to accelerate our progress. So how are we going to get there? And we're going to get there by infusing real-time intelligence to provide proactive insights to guide travelers to make the best decision possible in the shortest amount of time. So I'm a visual learner, so I wanted to take a moment to show you how we're applying AI at every part of the travel journey in this chart with a little bit of automation. So starting with planning, So estimating trip costs, getting those pre-approvals, moving to booking, to packing, then finally embarking on the trip, and then returning home or back to office, and finally submitting that expense report. AI is at each of these steps. It's there present, and it plays a crucial role in streamlining, simplifying those processes, while also ensuring that the company has all those post-submission checks in place. And then lastly, program management. Super important, and I'm excited to say that we're really focusing on this year, or starting to focus on it this year. It extends beyond, our focus extends beyond just a traveler, but it's about you as well. So bringing in AI enhancements to help you with program management. So let's take a look at where we are today with AI. So many of you may already know this, but Concur has been leveraging AI in our products for over a decade. However, with enhancements in generative AI, agentic AI, we've really been able to move forward. So where we are today looks like this. So you can see that, we are leveraging AI at every stage of the journey, supporting both you and your travelers, and that's providing guidance and boosting productivity. So, which brings me to now our going from high-level vision to our SAP Concur AI vision. Now, as I illustrated earlier in my chart there, our goal is to seamlessly integrate AI into every part of that travel and expense journey. But it's not just for the sake of it. It's instead, we want to create that personal AI assistant to ensure a simple and seamless end-to-end experience. And the key to this is having AI meet you within your existing workflow, or meet you where you're at. You shouldn't have to open up, a page on your desktop, then open up another tab here, and then go over here and look at an app. No, we want you to be in one place, and AI should be with you along that journey, offering personalization, guidance, and with the ability to adapt to any change. So how do we achieve this level of integration with AI? Well, we do it by focusing on two main value pillars for every AI use case, and that's guidance and productivity. These pillars ensure that AI solutions deliver those tangible benefits to you, making the processes more user-friendly, or adding in those layers of compliance. So, and you can see here, again, for like another visual where we our value pillars. So let's take look at some practical examples of how AI is aligned with our value proposition. So let's start with guidance. So policy tips. Policy tips offer timely notifications, automatically alerting travelers to critical policy reminders before spend occurs. So, if I'm here in New Orleans right now, as I sit down for breakfast, I'm going to get a notification that my daily meal limit is $85. So I'm probably going to call back the waitstaff and tell them to hold on those extra 2 orders of cinnamon rolls because I have to eat for the rest of the day. Or I'll get a reminder later in the day saying, hey, don't forget, Casey, there's a $50, for any expense over $50, there's a receipt requirement. So having these notifications helps increase compliance. Now let's shift to productivity. Productivity enhancements may not always be, flashy, but they're important. And a prime example is our hotel itemization. This feature has been a game changer. Instead of employees having to go in and manually enter in all those hotel details, it's just automatically uploaded into the expense report. All I have to do is go in and review and hit submit. And then there's also a case where we combine the two value pillars, and that's guidance and productivity in a use case. And in this situation, it's our meeting location planner. Previously, for group travel, you had to manually research, track, and track cities in relation to employee location. It was a spreadsheet nightmare and a complete time suck. So no longer, it's very easy. You just have to provide a natural language prompt, And then meeting a location planner takes a few minutes to process and think, and then provides a great recommendation that's cost effective for you. And the cherry on top of this is you're also going to get an email template that you can then share out with all of your travelers. So this feature can cut up to 95% of time, which again, huge. I mean, I love this new solution. So, but anyways, these are examples that demonstrate how AI aligns to our key pillars of guidance, productivity, and so. Anyway, that wraps up my segment, and I'm going to transition this over to what you're probably most excited for, and that's our product information. So before I hand it over to Alali, please remember that invisible thread we discussed, connecting research to vision, and then you can see how it leads to our product development. So Alali, passing it over.
Perfect. So, as Casey mentioned, we really ground any product improvements and development into the research. Like, we don't just come up with random ideas. We listen to the feedback you're saying. We listen to the trends we're seeing in the industry. And we try to take that and turn it into action. So today I'm going to walk you through a couple examples of things we've done. We're going to also go over a few things that we have in the plan, so you get to see the brand new stuff we're working on. So before I go into the details of all the new things we're doing, let's start with just like how we started this journey. So we started this journey back in December 2024. And when we set out this journey of like, hey, let's work on AI and make sure we have the right solution for our travelers, we needed to make sure that we apply this level of personalization. As Casey mentioned it's 2026. We have a lot of like customers that are expecting this level of personalization. They want Concur to know them, to remember where they were going, what airline they were flying, all of this information about them. So when we build our recommendation, we looked at what your travelers want for their personalization. But obviously, we listen to you too, because like as a traveler, I only want to fly first class and stay at 5-star hotels. My company, not so much. So you have to combine the two between like you running your program efficiently and your travelers' preferences. And so we kind of mixed up all of that information so we could come up with the best recommendations. So we launched flights back in December 2024, and since then we've added car recommendation into our web experience. And the reason I call this the brain of our AI is that through our booking flow and some of the other features I'm going to be showing, we reuse that personalization so we can help the travelers book faster. So now onto our booking agent. So our booking agent was really what kept us busy throughout the year. Last year we didn't even mention it and we didn't talk about it because it was in the works, but our booking agent is really leveraging Joule. So as you can see, this purple window here is Joule. This is the AI assistant for all SAP products. So this is not just in Concur. You can find Joule across the suite of SAP product, and it's here to help you answer questions and do multiple actions. So our booking agent leverages, as I mentioned, our recommendation to kind of help your travelers book faster. So I will show you a demo of what the booking agent looks like, and then we'll go over already like some of the improvements we have queued up and some of the things we want to change. Because for AI, like we don't want to wait and like ship the best perfect solution. We kind of want to get it out the door. So like it's been live since October 2025. We get people using it. We get some feedback, and we're already working on a new version with improvement from the feedback we get to just make sure it keeps getting better and better. Because with AI, we don't know yet how people are going to be using it, what type of prompt, what type of response they're expecting. So we just want to partner with our customers and get as much feedback and keep iterating until we get it to a place where we think it really helps streamline some of that experience, build that automation, this productivity guidance into the flow. So here's the demo.
Meet the booking assistant, seamlessly integrated into Joule, your one-stop solution for booking flights and hotels. Today, I'll show you how easy it is to plan a trip using Joule. I'm booking a flight from San Francisco to Vancouver to visit my team, traveling between August 28th and 30th. Joule immediately asks if I'd like to add a hotel, because it knows what travelers need. Next, Joule automatically finds the best flight options, fully compliant with my company's travel policies. I simply select the flight I want, and choose the right fare for my trip to Vancouver. Joule then moves on to my return flight. I only want evening flights with Air Canada, so Joule helps me refine my search in seconds. Once I pick my fare, my payment details are pulled directly from Concur, making checkout effortless. With flights sorted, Joule now helps me choose a hotel. It recommends top-rated options near the office, all policy compliant. I can view details, browse photos, and pick the hotel that works best for me. From there, I check available rooms and select the one I want. Finally, I confirm my payment method, using the same one for both bookings or a different one, depending on company setup. Before I finish, Joule gives me a clear summary of my selections, starting with flights. Then it shows my hotel details. With a couple more clicks, I confirm everything, and my booking is complete. A confirmation email is on its way. That's the power of Joule, making business travel simple, smart, and stress-free.
So as you see, this is the version that we have right now live. And since then, we have done a lot of user testing, a lot of user research. We have users in production using it. And so we've heard the feedback. Like the top things that came out from our research is like the integration with requests. So being able to integrate requests, make sure that those two are connected, which our teams are already working on right now. So we started when we launched it initially as an early access back in July. We had only air. We added since then hotel and car, but there is still a dependency of booking them together. We're bringing the ability for you to just bring whatever you want, book whatever you want separately. So if you just want a hotel, you just want a car, you're going to be able to do that right there in the booking agent. And then better filtering of your option using natural language. And we just want this agent to be smarter and smarter. As you see, we still have a lot of flow, like steps in this flow. So we're really trying to like, again, bring in this personalization. If you think about it, like if it is really like a very smart agent and it's capable of knowing like, hey, you always go to this destination, you always pick this flight, you always stay at the same hotel, and it kind of makes all those selections for you. This is going to become really powerful and it's going to save a lot of time for your travelers. So that's really like what we're trying to do is like keep making it better, keep making it faster, keep making it smarter as we go so that your travelers feel supported when they're booking. So the booking agent also expands beyond just the booking agent itself. As I mentioned, Joule is a tool that you can find into any SAP product. So this is where we're going to give you a sneak peek where Joule and Sales Cloud with the booking agent are going to help you power your customer visits. So imagine if you like get confirmation that you're visiting a customer, you input this visit into Sales Cloud, and now you don't actually have to leave Sales Cloud. Like, why would you leave Sales Cloud? You already put all your information there. Sales Cloud is now capable of passing all the information it has from their tool into Joule and our booking agent, so we can help you book your trip faster. So we know when you're going, we know where you're going, and you can just complete your booking in there. So that's the beauty of Joule being integrated into all of our SAP suite of products. You can find it directly into other SAP products, and the data is connected between the two. The other concept that we're working on around our booking agent is around calendar and email integration. So we're trying to see, because we understand as Casey mentioned earlier, like we want to meet you where you are, and we understand that your journey doesn't always start in Concur. And when you get confirmation for like a client meeting, when you get a confirmation for a conference, for an offsite, anything, it usually starts in your email inbox or through a calendar invite. What if we were able to connect this information? Obviously, still, as we mentioned a lot, like SAP is really very keen on like ensuring like privacy of your data. So we are working through all this privacy and security to make sure your information is there and secure with us. But what if you come to Concur and like you actually see the information from your meeting, from your offsite, and you just have to click a button because we know again when you're going, where you're going, and you don't have to input this over and over again. So we're really trying to like improve the traveler experience, not having you to like copy and paste a lot of things, like it's always prone to errors. So we're really trying to like guide you through that booking process with additional integration. And then another one that we are looking at, which is, again, we heard it loud and clear from the research and insights that we got around trip changes. Like our trip changes, what we really want to do is the number one question people ask when they're changing a trip is how much is that going to cost? What if we could answer that question right there in Joule, and then in the background, if the user is ready and they're like, you know what, that price seems pretty reasonable, or have a family emergency, need to get home, we show them this information and we help them complete this change right there in the back end with them not having to do the work, keeping them in compliance with your policies. And then last but not least, obviously, like you, the traveler managers, have been working, like you've been really working hard on like setting up your admins and like all your policy. And so we are looking into improving our policy rule creation. Today, it's a really long set of rules that you're creating. It could be error prone, but like, can you imagine a world where you either copy and paste or at some point upload a document where you can just have your policy create the rules themselves? So obviously we still understand, like as we mentioned, like we need to build the trust in the AI. So for all of those things, we always keep a human in the loop because we want to make sure you get the final say on like, okay, this has been created. Is it really reflecting what we're trying to do? Is it really what we wanted to do? So we're starting small with like the ability for you to type in plain English or copy parts of your policy and then generate the rules. You get to review them, you get to approve them, you get to change them if you need to, but this will ultimately lead to so much more efficiency around creating your rules and giving you some time back with those type of tasks. And so what really we want you to get also out of this session is that we want to innovate with you. Like this innovation, this AI doesn't happen with us in a corner, not talking to customers. Like if you really want to be part of this journey with us, please let your account manager, your CSM, your TEM know that you're interested in partnering with us. Like tell them which topic you think are good ideas for us to look into because we would love to hear more. If you want to help us identify solutions, we have a lot of our CIs, which are our customer engagement initiatives. You can find them on the Concur website. You can have some information there. Please sign up for those so you can share your feedback. And I know it's a lot of acronyms, but like sign up for EACs, which is early access for customer. As I mentioned, like all those AI features, we usually give a preview to some customers ahead of time. So we would love to have you sign up for those. And so last, the disclaimer slide, everything you've seen is information that might change in the future. And really, we would want to hear your feedback about this session, what you like, what we could do different. So please make sure at the end of this that you share your feedback on this session that you viewed. Again, thank you so much for joining us today. We appreciate your time.